Okay, this review has been a long time coming. This is the famous 6-0 double black diamond. This has been a super popular paddle for a while now, but the question I want to answer is it still the best of the best? So let's get right into it. Here are the specs. Its face is Japanese Toray 700K raw carbon. It's a hybrid shape. It's thermoformed unibody with perimeter edge foam. It's got a polypropylene core and it's 16 millimeters. It's 16.3 inches long with a tapered width of 7.5 to 7.7 inches. Its grip length is 5.5 inches. The grip circumference is 4.125 to 4.25 inches. And the average weight of the standard version is about 8.1 ounces. The standard version has an advertised swing weight of 113 and a twist weight of 6.8. And it comes with a nice neoprene paddle cover. And it has a 12-month manufacturing defects warranty, but only a 6-month core issues warranty. And then there is a 30-day return window, and the price is $162 after using promo code MatthewK for a 10% discount. All right, to cut to the chase, the DBD is still a great paddle. However, there's definitely some competition out there compared to when it first came out. Not only does 6-0 offer a super similar paddle with its Ruby that utilizes 100% Kevlar face that's supposed to be a bit more plush, there are a few other companies producing some great paddles with some similar attributes to the DBD, and we're going to talk about a few of them. But first, it has to be said that the DBD is a powerful paddle. Some folks are starting to label it a control paddle compared to some of the newer power paddles out right now, like the Gearbox Pros, the Mark Kinetic, the Huda Viva Pro Gen 2, as well as some other super hard-hitting paddles. However, I have to disagree a bit with that control label. While there are definitely other paddles that have a lot more power compared to the DBD hits way harder than pretty much every Gen 1 paddle out there and a whole lot of Gen 2 paddles as well. I think it's a mistake to call it a control paddle because someone coming from a cheap Amazon paddle or a Gen 1 paddle will have a hard time keeping a DBD under control, in my opinion. Instead, I think all court leaning towards power is a better classification. It's just got too much of a learning curve for folks not used to thermoform paddles, in my opinion, to be labeled control. In fact, I personally think this paddle needs some weight down here at the bottom corners to really be comfortable at the kitchen and mid-court. Without that, I think a lot of folks will have a lot of unwanted pop-ups with their softer hits and really setting themselves up to get body bagged. So to give you an idea of the DBD's power, and this is with that weight at the throat, I would say it sits right above a Vatic Pro Flash 60mm straight out of the box with no weight, and it's probably right around Honolulu Pickleball's J2H with the same weight setup. So if you don't want to mess with adding weight and want something super controllable with a little less power, I'd say go with the Flash 60mm. I'd say the Flash 60mm and the DBD 60mm are pretty comparable in the pop department as well, so it's just a question of if you want that boost of power. If you want to save some money and get the same amount of power in a similar shape, maybe a tad more power actually, you could go with Honolulu's J2H. However, the J2H's face is a blend of fiberglass and carbon fiber, so its touch is a little bit different. The ball really shoots off that thing, so you'll need some finesse to control it even with that weight setup. And to me, the DBD soft game with that little bit of weight is super familiar if you're coming from another carbon fiber face paddle. And I do think that's something worth highlighting. That might even be a reason to choose this over the Ruby, which is very similar paddle, but with a Kevlar face with its own touch and feel attributes. As for pop, I'd say it's the exact right amount. Like I said, I think it's just about what you get with a Vatic Pro Flash 60mm and a tad less than a paddle with a face mixing carbon fiber and fiberglass. And the DBD's face and its surface is a real standard bearer, in my opinion. You won't have any complaints with how it grabs the ball or how it generates spin. Trickier shots and placing the ball are just a dream with this paddle. Now, is the DBD still the king of thermoform paddles? Well, I think it's still up there in my opinion. Has it been dethroned by its Ruby sibling or a paddle from another company? To be honest, I think it's really up to you and what you think is most important. I personally think we're going to see more and more folks move away from the super powerful paddles, even though there are a lot coming out right now, and go with more all court so they can have something fun with whatever kind of game they're in, across from bangers, mixing with beginners, whatever. So many people are playing these days at different skill levels. Having something reliable that you don't have to have 100% concentration with every single hit and making sure you have perfect form and English on every ball is going to become more and more desirable in my opinion. It just helps keep things fun. As for value, 6-0 has a good reputation and a track record, so you know what you're getting. And $162 after promo code Matthew K is competitive for what you're getting. And while I've talked about some more affordable options, sometimes you just want what you want. And 6-0 is a brand that has some diehard fans. If you want to be in that family, you've got to buy in. Plus, 6-0 really does seem to put effort into their R&D, so you're really investing into innovation with 6-0. Okay, that's all I've got. The DBD is a really great paddle. I'll be sure to leave a link in the description for their site. Don't forget to use promo code MatthewK for that 10% discount. And I'll also leave some links and codes for some other cool paddles and paddle companies. Be sure to check those out. Using those does help me and help the channel, so it's always appreciated. And also please like and subscribe. That really helps me too. But most importantly, I hope you get to pickle soon. And just don't forget, it's about having fun.